Okay, guys, hello and welcome to free Beetroot Academy event that today is dedicated, as you can see and as you all well know, to tech career and especially to tech career in UI UX design. My name is Veronica. I'm event manager at Beetroot Academy, and I will take just a couple of minutes at the beginning of the event just to walk through all the organizational questions, answer some popular questions about is there recording, what is the structure, and for how long the event is planned. And then, of course, I will give the word to today's speaker. So with us today, Yehor Dovhopol, who is not only our experienced professional, but also experienced teacher at the Academy. And I think that's super great that he can offer both perspectives on the field as a working professional, but also as someone who has taught, I don't even know how many groups and students. Maybe Yehor will share that later with us. But he has a lot of experience in teaching, basically. And that being said, he has worked a lot with the beginners. So in case you're wondering, as a beginner, how do you even start with this topic, with this career? I think today it's a great time and place to listen to what we have prepared for you, and of course, to ask your questions. So the structure of the event will be as following. We are going to start with the biggest part, which is the main information. So we're going to talk about the career in UI UX design, what is the field of design, so what UI and UX stand for, how do you even start this career, what are your typical tasks and goals as a professional in this field. And then, of course, at the second part, we'll have a separate Q&A session. And that is the place where we will all answer all of the questions that you have for us. That's why I welcome you to the live chat of YouTube, which will be our main communicational instrument for today's evening. Let's start right now. If you don't mind, can you please tell me if you can see me and you can hear me well? Just put a plus, hello, good evening, whatever. And also, if you don't mind sharing, can you please write where are you from, where are you watching us? I love the geography checks at the beginning of these events. I'm currently in Ukraine. Yehor, I know, is in Poland. So if your geography is a bit different, I would love to hear that. And also in the live chat, as I've said, you can write all of the questions and comments. In case you already have questions to our speaker, you can do that right now. You can write them. But please be aware that all the questions will be answered at the end of the event, at the Q&A session. No worries, I will not miss anything. I will go through the live chat and find everything that you have wrote down. And in case you'll have some questions, coming up throughout the event, that's also all right. Just write them down to make sure you don't forget anything. The event approximately will be, I believe, up to an hour and a half at max. Of course, everything will depend on the amount of the questions that we'll have at the end. But in case you cannot stay with us till the very, very end, that's all right. I understand, life happens. That's totally fine. You will receive the recording alongside with all of the bonuses and this presentation that you can see on the screen via the email that you used to register on the event. So you won't miss anything. So you can, for example, write down your question and then go in case you need it, and you will be sure that you'll receive the answer in the recording. But I still recommend you standing with us to be able to have this live communication with the speaker and also to see firsthand all of the bonuses that we have prepared for you. And the last comment, and I will go with the speaker and give him the word to present himself finally. We today with us have not only the speaker who will present the professional part and the educational one, but today with us is also one of our graduates, Tatiana, who will share her experience in switching from non-tech to tech profession, especially to design, as you can tell, basically. And she will tell a bit about her decision on why switch to design, how did she choose Beetroot Academy, how was her studying, and of course, how her career looks like now. So I think that's also a great time and place to ask your questions to her, to someone who, studied at the academy and switched the field and mastered a completely new profession. So just keep in mind that you can ask questions not only to a professional, but also to almost a fellow student, a fellow graduate. I already see comments that everything is well. You can see, you can hear me, and there's watching from Toronto, Canada. That's great. I have a couple of friends living there. I hope you enjoyed. That being said, I'm finishing with my pep talk. Yehor, I will give the word to you. So let's start with a small presentation. Can you please tell us about yourself? And then, of course, we'll follow with the topic of UI UX design.
Thank you a lot. Hello, guys. I'm really glad to be present here. So let me introduce myself. As it was mentioned, I am the current teacher of our next group, and I have created, I think, maybe 16 groups at this moment, something around 250 students. I'm also a co-author of the current program of UX UI from scratch. So mostly we will be focusing on the basic knowledges, which are super important and competitive on this field. Some more information which is additional about me. So I was starting like a graphic designer, maybe something around like 15 years ago, because I was studying from the beginning, even in the art school, I was also concentrating on graphic design. Later, I switched to UX UI design, and now I'm helping different startups and companies to redesign or to improve their digital products and also to create something from scratch or improve their own capacities of the business. Also, I'm specializing right now on fintech and edtech, also e-commerce and SaaS technologies, which are the main priority for me. That's very interesting fields, and they are the most active if we are talking about the business side of the question. Also, I have 2 master degrees. So one of them it's Master of the Arts, specialized of graphic design. And also I have several interesting clients, which are big corporative clients. So I have, I think, really relevant experience from different fields, because it could be startups if you're interested in about small clients, and also it's a big companies. Okay, what will be our plan for today? We will talk with you what is UI UX design. Also, we will discuss with you typical tasks for the designer and what goals should we achieve like a specialist. And of course, typical day of UX UI designer, what we are doing like designers on everyday base. And of course, more things which will be interesting today. So what you can expect today. I will introduce you this field, what is that, and what is the main priority for UX UI designers. Also, we will touch with you in a small way a theme about the product design, because that's a next field which will be relevant if you know UI UX design and you have practiced for at least maybe 2 years in the field. So that's the priority for all of the designers which want to become later product designers, because that's the first step to become UI UX designer. Real-life examples, and of course QA section, so you will be able to ask me anything what you want, and I will try to help you with this. So first of all, hope you are not bored at this moment, and please tell me what cat are you today. Please mark number in our chat. I feel today like the 6th one, because today I will share with you my experience, but I don't know what is your mood today, so please share it is, and we'll try to check it out later. Okay, so hope you have super battle mood, maybe the first one, and you're ready to get acquainted with the field. So what is that UI UX design? I'll start maybe from my background, because when I was a graphic designer, I had no experience and no imagination what is actually UX UI design, because on those time UX UI design it was something which only bored. I was practicing like web designer. So on those time, nobody knows who is a web designer, because mostly everybody wanted to stay graphic designers. But first websites exist and somebody should take care about the aesthetic part. Later, everybody understood that aesthetic part, that's not only way how they can improve the business side of the question. So there was invented user experience and UI design. Later, they were separated, because that's are the 2 fields which right now they could be separated, I mean like from the specialist side. You can be a person who is specified only on UX or only on UI, but that's only your choice. You could be specifying on both fields, but you need to be really experienced in this. So UX, what is that? In a simple words, it's a background of the process of developing a website. UX, it's a logic of the website or any kind of an interface, because UX and UI, it's not only about websites or mobile applications, it's also about your any kind of interfaces which you are using on daily basis, for example, in your car. That's also an UX UI design field. Also, UX, it's more about user experience. So on this part of a question, we will be discussing with you what is actually a background and what patterns of behavior do we have and how can we use them if we want to create the simplest way to have any kind of a tasks which could be solved by us like a designers, and also a business goals which could be achieved by the users using the interface. If we are talking about UI side, so this is a user interface. It means that this is a specialization which primarily focus on, if I can say simple words, on aesthetic side. But of course, it's more deep than just an aesthetic. It's a big part of the rules, a lot of the background, which can be used like a theoretical side here, and how can we make our composition really interesting and really not only aesthetic, but also very comfortable to use and read for the users. Maybe you have ever heard about readability and scannability. That's also about UI side in this case. Okay, let's move forward. So what's next? Let's imagine that you already know what is UX UI design. So how can you grow in this field? So next step in this field will be a product design. So product design, it's a kind of a super concentrated knowledges about UX, UI, both in these fields and also about the business in which you are working right now. Primary, if you want to have a simple example here, I would rather say that you could start like UX UI designer in some agency. Later, you can have a job offer from a product company, for example, like bank. And this bank could have website and also a mobile application for their users and their clients. And somebody should take care about this product. So if you imagine that they will have a product team, which will consist, for example, from several designers, design lead, also developers, backend, frontend, QA, testers, and other specialists which could be involved in this process. So you could be a part of this team. It means that you will take all the knowledges which you have from interface part, and also you will also take knowledges about special users which are only about this banking application. So it means that you will be super specialist in this field, and your salary will be, of course, more than even for UX UI designer, because you have a specialization right now. Everybody wants to have product designers in their team, because this specialization, it means that you have a lot of experience. So this is the way how you can grow in this field. And of course, later you can become a team lead. So, but that's another complicated task, and you need to have at least 5-6 years of experience in the field. Okay, so what's next? UX and UI. What are the main difference, if we can say so? In this case, if we are paying attention on UX part, so we will be discussing all the things which are connected with understanding of our users. Users, it's not clients, so it could be two different categories of people which are using the product, and also like all the process of interacting with the interface. We'll talk here about different technologies and methods, how we can analyze the behavior of the users, how we can improve the primary usability, scannability, and all the things. And also we'll try to create a skeletons of the website without any aesthetic part at this moment. Also, we will be analyzing a target audience. We'll try to understand their needs, motivations, goals, and also their fears. And if it is UI part, so it's more about aesthetic part, but it's not only a creative part, I would say so, because from my experience, I would say that design, it's not only a creative part. Probably it's more like 50-50, or even more like 70 by 30% technical knowledges and creativity. So in this case, if you have ever heard that I can draw, so I can be a designer, that's a stereotype, because that's more about your knowledges. And in UX UI design, we have a lot of different rules and patterns which we can use even without understanding how to draw by hands. But of course, in this case, we also have different sketching methods. So if you will be interested in this, so we'll have this chance. And also, let's go back to UI part. So it's choosing the color palette, it's understanding the color system and how it is interacting with the user psychology. Also, it will be about different fonts and how they influence on scannability of the text. We will be choosing different decorative elements such as icon systems, different buttons, components, and so on. And of course, we'll try to create a global composition of our interface to make it readable. One of the main priorities on this course, we are focusing on adaptivity, because adaptivity right now, it's a special theme which everybody wants to see if they hire in UX UI designers, because all these interfaces which we see today, they are adaptive and responsive, of course, because we have desktop and also mobile and tablet, and maybe you're using Apple Watch or some kind of Google Watch. So in this case, all these applications which we are working with, all the interfaces, they should be adaptive. So who will take care about this? Like we, only we. Okay, and also on this step, I think I need to show you some projects from a real experience, because on this step, probably it was kind of a boring part with without any examples. So let's take a look then. So this is our primary software, which we will be using on our course, that is Figma. This is a part of one of my projects. This is UX persona and also user stories. So we are discovering different part of user interaction with the field of our interface. In this case, we need to understand really close who are our UX personas. And with my client, we have created 3 different personas. This is a big website, which we created like a web application. It's a fitness trainer. So she got her own business and she is nutritionist also at the same time. So inside we have different personal plans, workouts, nutrition programs, and so on. And all this stuff we created based on UX analytics. So this is a desktop design, and also here we have a mobile design. All of them, they are responsive. So you can see that we can adapt there by different sizes. And I will be teaching you how to do such interfaces and adaptations to make it super simple and super easy using the full functionality of a Figma. Right now, Figma, it is the most popular software which is used by UX UI designers, and I'm making an accent on with my groups to study all the functions which are so necessary right now. From the other side, that's the UI part. So you see that we have different interfaces, parts, and so on. You see these grids, because we'll be also using with you different grids. Grids, it's a kind of a thing which will be important for the developers and for us at the same time to understand how to adapt the content, of course. And you see like the general scope of work, how many screens do we have in this case. So it was a project which lasts around a year. And this is a design system. So this is clearly UI part. So we have here a lot of color system, which we have typography system, different icons, different blocks, which could be used and reused several times at the same time. Icons, all this stuff. So you will be able to choose what specialization do you like more. Probably you like more UX to analyze, to create and build different diagrams, for example, user flows and so on. This is also one of the other projects. So UX part here also used like a sketches. So we are sketching here, building different structure, discussing this with clients. So this is a huge architecture of the website. So second version, because client didn't like this one. So we created another one, and then we created user interface, and it's ongoing project. So here we have sketches, we have different blocks, and also we have a description, some information from the copywriters here. And also probably you like more to build some technical stuff. So here it is. We have a design system. This is a special system for huge Scandinavian website. It's called Utsidan. And they are specializing on different traveling and hiking also. So they asked me to build for them design system because they have their own team of designers, but they don't have enough experience to build design systems because it is super complicated process. And you need to count everything and build different grids for mobile and a desktop. So that's not a task for juniors, but we will study with you how to go step by step. So don't be afraid of this part. So this is how it works from the real side. Super exciting moments. I'm really passionate with design, so probably you'll also enjoy all the things that I've showed you. And let's go back to our presentation here. Okay. Okay, should be visible right now. So I have presented to you how it looks from the side of a designer, and let's discuss how it goes in real life. So how to create such layouts, how to collaborate with team, because mostly design, that's a kind of a teamwork. That's not only a lonely work with the layouts. So that's a good news because teamwork, that's more progressive and efficient from my point of view. And typical day looks like this. So you're having your coffee, you're opening your laptop, and then you are taking care about the Figma layouts. Of course, you can have a lot of different calls with your manager, with clients. Also, you can create research. You can create questionnaires for a team, for a client users, and to have insights, what they are using most of all. Probably you will have an access for Google Analytics, Hotjar, or Clarity, different services which are showing heat maps, and you can just track the behavior of the users, so you can create as best interface for them. Of course, you will be able to communicate with your team, to test your hypotheses, to build them, discuss them, because mostly designers, they are working in a pair or in a team of designers. So you will be not alone, and on the like a beginner, you will also have a mentor in a team. So don't be afraid about this. This will be a good news for you, so you will be educated. And of course, you will have a lot of communication with your team to get the best experience from users and to improve your interface to make it super simple, super aesthetic, and also efficient for the business goals. And of course, you will be able to search more ideas and test this hypothesis. In this case, I would separate here also, because if you will be working in a product team, so mostly you'll be focusing on the one product. If you will be working in agency, so this will be a field where you can experiment with different businesses and different business goals. So probably in my case, I would, if I was starting today, I would recommend you to start from an agency, because it's not so competitive like a product design. And also you will be able to test what fields do you like more and where do you want to focus on. And from my experience, also my students, they mostly share an experience that they have agency experience also, and some of the clients, they like them so much that they are offering them to join their product team. So this is a kind of a way how you can be hired like a product designer. But that's another small topic here. Okay, so how should you understand if you really enjoy the design? I would recommend you here two different ways how you can talk with yourself and understand yourself in this case. First of all, try to do the self-evaluation. That's the simplest way. Try to catch if your interests are matching with all the things that we discussed today. Try to understand if you like the design. Try to make a research by your own maybe. And maybe you have some skills which are matching with those things that we've discussed today. Interests, maybe skills, maybe you like to draw just by hands, making some sketches, and maybe you also like to create research, to create something new. For me especially, the main priority always was to have something real, because I like to touch, if I can say so, the product which I have created. So in this case, probably for me, it was the primary thing which had influence on my decision. And the next point also here, that's to try and to have a first try on this field and to understand if it is easy for you or not to work with different fields in design. In this case, I would really recommend you to have a small look on our course, which is a self-paced. It's absolutely free, so you will be able to take a look what is that from the inside. You will have a pretty cool instructions how to collaborate with this field. What is that? So it will be a super small course where you will have all the instructions. They will be super detailed, step by step. You will create your first layout in Figma, and you will test if it is okay for you and if you like it. This is a small website. You can fill here data and you will be able to join our self-paced course. So all the information you will see here, you will see some description here, and that's the main thing, how you can test if it is interesting for you, and this is your field where you want to switch or improve your knowledges. So I would ask right now to share this link, if it is possible in our chat. Yeah, I see the feedback. Good, good, good. So the link is right now, should be on the chat. So please save this link and go back once more for this website after we will finish and get acquainted with all the information, because that's the best way how you can test if you like this field. And of course, if you will enjoy this, so in this case, you will also have 15% takeoff. So that's could be a motivation for you also for our course. Okay, good. So right now, let's go forward and what will be our first steps in this profession if you want to switch or to get acquainted with something new. So first of all, you need to start from basics. Basics in our case, it's from the UI side. That's understanding of composition, typography, colors, different contrast, color system, visual identification, and so on. Of course, we will discuss with you UX part, how to understand the psychology of the users, how to use their patterns of behavior, and how to have an influence and push them to do something on a website. Second step will be to study different references, to analyze what was the previous experience of a field of design in this specification also. We will discuss with you a practice side. I think that's the main priority for all the junior specialists. One of my teachers in my academy said that copying is a key of studying. So I remember these words really good. And because I was really shy that I was copying some things because I didn't have any experience on those time. And he said that that's the best option how you can study. And after you will have enough copies, you will be able to use your own brain library to find the keys for any kind of a project. So if you want to have a real success, you need to do a lot of copies when you are a beginner. Later, you will be able to create something unique. Next, fewer details and more readability. So the main problem with which we are struggling with my students, that's overloading the design with the details. Or it could be also a kind of a design which is not proportional, because you can't catch what could be the proportions using different devices. So this is the thing where you need also to pay attention and experiment with this. In this case, we have super clear recommendations from different design systems, for example, like material design or human interface design from iOS. And they have several points which you will be just using, and your interface will be perfect in this case. For example, like a size of the font. So you even don't need to think a lot how to choose it and if it is matching with the interface tasks, because you have all the information like this. So rules are the first thing which we have here. The fifth point, it will be basic tools which could be necessary in the field. Mostly you could hear about the Figma, but Figma, it's not only the one instrument which can be used in this field. Of course, in our course, we'll be focusing on Figma, but and actually that's the perfect program, I would say. So I can compare with a lot of different products. I'm using on my daily basis Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign to make different catalogs and so on. Lightroom, but Figma, it's the best option actually. So if you want to design the interfaces, Figma, it is a top. And also you can join a lot of different I would say maybe super small, simple workshops in YouTube. If you don't know what to do and how to do some kind of buttons or different things, you can always check out the YouTube for this, because you will have a lot of different lessons here. But anyway, there are also Adobe XD and also could be some other soft, but Figma is the most popular right now and actually the most comfortable. Also, next step will be gathering the feedback. When I was studying my academy, I was trying to collect all the feedback which was possible. I think my teachers, they were scaring me actually, because I was just trying to find them everywhere and ask them any kind of a feedback for my work. And actually, that's a very good option where you have any kind of a feedback and you will rework your projects according to this feedback, because that's how it works and how you can be educated using just only feedback. Next point, it will be a principles of UX. So code design should be not only beautiful, it should be usable and should be scannable and readable. We will be discussing with you accessibility parts here, and probably you are interested to take a look from your side, like not only with the courses, and you need some time to understand what is that. So in this case, I would highly recommend you to go on the website Material Design. That's a design system from Google. And you will be able to understand how much knowledge you need to gather in this case. They have descriptions, what is that, and how to use all the information. And in this case, you will be able to understand if it is interesting for you actually. Because mostly, like designers, we are gathering a lot of information which is just rules or patterns or was tested by designers before us. So we are reusing all these patterns and things. And next point here is follow trends. So for understanding what are the following trends right now, we need to take our wave. So you need to be interested in different projects which were created by other designers and which are popular right now. For this, probably I would recommend you a website which called awards.com. That's a website which gathers the best UI and UX interfaces. So you will be able to get acquainted with the best solutions on the market. And the last step, when you have gathered all this information, it will be building your portfolio. In our field, I would say that portfolio can promote us even better than all the other things, because our portfolio, it's our presentation, it's our portrait, I would say so. In this case, portfolio, it's the thing that could sell your skills. And you can focus on the field which is necessary for you and interesting for you. Or you can create a portfolio which will be more wide and create different projects in your portfolio. So of course, that's a way to understand what clients you also do want to have, because if we're talking about career of UX UI designers, it could be not only an agency work. You can also be a freelance designer if it is interesting for you, or it could be just a kind of another part how you will earn money if you want to have some kind of additional salary and you want to find another client except your primary work. So in this case, our portfolio will help you to understand how can you catch your clients in future. And probably I would say that's all from my side. So I'm giving the word next.
Yeah, I'll pick it up from here. I just wanted to mention, if we just like scroll back a bit to the intro task. So of course you have the link sent to you in the YouTube chat. Please no worries, we'll also double it in the text of the email, and also in this presentation, all the links are clickable, so you can always access it just to try for yourself in the practical way, the profession of UI UX designer. But that's not the bonus. The bonus that we are offering you is a small PDF guide that will tell you everything that we basically are talking about for an hour, but in a small, handy, and short format, because I can clearly believe that you may not find another free evening in upcoming week, let's say, to sit and rewatch everything that we are talking about, but you will need to maybe come back to the main information, and you will be able to do so just by opening the guide. It will collect everything that we have talked about today. So what is UI UX design? What are the career perspectives in front of you? What are the challenges? To whom we think this profession will suit the best? Etc., with a few like useful links also put into that guide. So we hope it will be interesting and also helpful for you to come back and to revise the material in the easiest, quickest possible way. And it will be also sent to you in the email alongside with the recording of the event. So can you please go to the next slide? Also, not a bonus, but I still believe a very helpful addition to the materials we are talking about today is the articles in our website blogs, which are called success stories, because I think they serve very well for two purposes. First of all, to get you motivated, because I can believe that when you're thinking about, switching the career and changing your field and going to study all over again, it can be daunting and you can feel scared and afraid, and that's totally fine because you're in front of something big and unknown. But when you read those stories, those are the same people as you, who have decided to change their field, who have completed the course, and who have embarked on the journey to find a new job after being for 5, 6, I don't know, 10, 20 years in completely different field, and you know what, they got it. And I believe that is the best feeling, to see that other people also managed to do this and there is no way you can't. So that's a great source of motivation. But the second, more practical way to use those articles is, I believe, to, if being honest, scroll a little bit to the end of the article, because at the end of each article we always collect the tips from each graduate on studying and also looking for a job. And in that case, I highly recommend you checking out not only the UI UX graduates and articles, but also all of the others for front-end development, for PM, for any other course that we offer, because I think that all of those advice are really cool on how to prepare for a tech interview, where to look for any job offers. I think that those advice are really helpful because they are given by your fellow students, your fellow graduates, those who have started the same way as you did or will do, hopefully. And I think those advices are really, really good to at least start and to get an idea. Okay, so I finished the course. What's next? And in that part, I would like also to offer the word to Tatiana, who is our graduate, both at the academy, but also graduate of Yehor, and she can share a bit information about her experience. I would personally love to hear, Tatiana, what was your field before UI UX design? And why did you make the decision to switch into tech? And especially, why did you choose design in the first place?
Yes, so hi everyone, my name is Tatiana, and as mentioned, I'm a former student at the Beetroot Academy, and I'm very happy to join this webinar and share my feedback about the UX UI design course, which I finished last year in August. So quickly about myself, I have more than 10 years of experience in administration and event management, and while being on parental leave, I decided to study UX UI design at the Beetroot Academy because I think that I had an interest in visual design and also as a curiosity. I just wanted to see what it is about and if it is a profession for me. I had only half a year to gain knowledge in a completely new industry, and this particular course was exactly what I was looking for. It was 5 months course, and during this course we learned everything from UX research to creating wireframes and interactive prototypes. In the first month we were working with Figma, and it was really fun. We had some creative group exercises, we created some cute illustrations, and in the next 4 months we completed 3 projects which you can later include into your portfolio. So the design briefs for the first 2 projects were provided by the school, and it was an e-commerce website and also a travel mobile app. And a final project was a project of our own choice. So in briefly, what I liked about the course, it's first of all, the convenient learning management system. It's the school platform where you have theory material with links to articles and videos. And also, I liked how our study process was organized because it combined kind of self-learning with practical classes with our teacher. So before each class, we reviewed the theory in the platform, and during the class, we had a practical lesson where our teacher answered all our questions. And additionally, if you miss a class, you could always watch a recording on a YouTube channel with a private link. And also I liked that we had an international group of students. In my particular group, we had students from Sweden, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Poland, and so on, which was really exciting. And also, maybe I can mention that I think that I was really lucky to be a student of Yehor, because he's not only a professional with more than 10 years of experience, but he's also a nice person, very supportive, always in a positive mood, and he's very patient. He answered all our questions and explained material, thank you, in an easy and understandable way. And also, I remember when we had our graduation with final presentations, it was truly inspiring and exciting to see how much we have learned in just a few months. And to summarize, maybe I can tell that the UX UI design course at the Beetroot Academy is really a great foundation in UX UI design, and I'm really very grateful for this experience. And right now, after finishing the course, I decided to get more involved in the UX community. So I actually started volunteering for the Interaction Design Foundation. And at the end of the last year, I took on a role as a local leader for the IDF community in Gothenburg, where I live, to organize meetups for UX designers in my city. And I think, yeah, and now I continue looking for jobs, and I'm on interview stage right now, and I had an interview in a well-known company, but I'm excited to see what's next. Maybe I will consider some freelancing projects, but yeah, it's the next steps. And I was also thinking, if we have like 1 more minute, I can quickly show you my Figma file and one of my latest projects, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
that would be awesome, please.
Okay, let me just share my screen now. Share. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, so this is one of my projects, which is called Fun for Kids, and it's a family-friendly platform where parents can find activities and places to visit with their kids. This website has an interactive map with search and filter functions. And yeah, so this is just an overview. I wanted to show it like this. So it's my Figma file, and you can see the amount of work. It's kind of about 20 pages, 10 desktop pages and 10 mobile pages. And maybe I will not go into details right now, but briefly I can show you that here we have the UI kit with colors, typography, icons, buttons, and all the other inputs and elements which I have used in my design. But maybe very quickly, I can show you my project in a prototyping mode. So this is, can you see now the mobile screen? Yeah. So this is my project in a mobile version. So the home page, you can see all the places and activities. And here you can type a name of the city and look for different places. For example, this one, you can see the description about the page, and you can go back to discover mode. This map has 2 different views, list view and map view. And also I mentioned about, not here, filters, where you can find different places using categories and filters. And what else? Here maybe about the project, contact form, and you can also sign in to your personal account, and here are the details, and you can navigate between favorites, favorite places, reviews, which you have left, and yeah, that's all. I think that's very briefly, but yeah.
It looks
Thank you
so
for your
cool.
attention. I think that's all what I wanted to share. I need to stop sharing now. Just a second.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me, is this your final project from the course, or it's something that you worked on, like on yourself?
Yeah, actually, this is my final project, and I'm very proud of this project because I was designing for a startup, and this project is currently in development.
That's
So you can
great.
see it in real life. Yeah, you will see it in real life. It's still work going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it looks really cool. Thank you so much for sharing both your experience and the final project. I also always love watching at those because the way that, you know, the people and the students just showcase their work in just like 5 months, what they have learned, I think that's just unbelievable. Yehor, do you want to take any comments on the studying, on the way that Tatiana made from like day 1 to the last day of graduation?
Yes, that's an exciting path, actually. My favorite part of whole course, it's first day and the last day when we have a final presentation, because results of our students, that's something amazing. And I'm really proud that I have such student like Tatiana and those everybody that graduated from my side, because I'm trying to get in to catch all the information about my students, to keep in touch with them on LinkedIn, and I'm really proud of this because one of the yesterday I made a post on my LinkedIn that one more student sent me a message that I'm done, I have work. So that's the moment for which I'm working and doing all this stuff. And anyway, so if you will imagine your life like in a half a year after the course, it will be absolutely different point of view on everything. Most level students, they say that from the moment they have graduated from the course, they feel that they hate different menus and all the design stuff that they see in surrounding area, because now they understand how it should look like and how much design, which is really ugly, we have in surrounding area. So that's why we'll have enough work in future, and this field actually growing all the time. So that's a good choice if you're interested in something which will be technical and aesthetic in the both sides, because that's not only a creative field, and that's really interesting from my side, because I'm not really a super creative person. Mostly I like the technical engineering process of visualization. So if you have the same character as I do, so I think it is a match.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think we can move on with the presentation. Tatiana, thank you so much one more time for being with us. And let's come back to the slides. Yehor, will you share?
I think maybe it will be better from your side.
Oh, sure. Just give me then a sec. So basically, I believe we've covered all of the, informational part from our side by telling you everything about the UI UX design as it is. But let me just finish with a couple of, as usual, our beloved organizational stuff. So actually, I have a slide dedicated to, talking about Beetroot Academy and the learning process at the academy, but Tanya did just a great job by describing everything. So I will give you just a brief history lesson on the academy. So in case you don't know, we are a Ukrainian-Swedish tech academy that has been working for more than 10 years, and we are proud that we have graduated more than 14,000 students in that time, which is just like amazing. Like Yehor just did like more than 16 groups or whatever, which I believe is like the record at the academy, or at least very close to. And all of those students are successfully employed at more than 700 companies worldwide. And it's such a pleasure and like a proud moment when you see that their time and effort is paid back, in the way of really cool job offer that just makes my personal heart very sweet. And just in general, as the academy, we're extremely proud of the way that students are accomplished in different spheres, not only the design. We are also accredited by Almega, in case you don't know, which is a Swedish like educational institution that checks educational providers all over the world. So all the materials, the program, the lesson plans are accredited by Almega, as well as the certificates that you get at the end of the course. So that gives us a little bit more value. The system that we teach, Tatiana has already described, it's called the flipped classroom method, which I believe gets you the best of the both worlds. You still have the theory material because, of course, you have to know how to call the stuff, the terminology, how do you use Figma in different ways. So that you do before the class. We have all the materials separately dedicated, classified in the learning management system for each lesson for you to learn. But then you go for a practical lesson with teacher Yehor, for example, and you spend those 2 hours or even more just working on the topic. So if you work with grids in Figma, you will do that on the lesson, not trying to spend time on understanding what a grid is, because you have already learned it a bit by yourself. And that's okay if you don't get it from the first time, because the live lesson is also a place and time to ask questions, to say that, well, that point I just didn't understand. Can you please explain me? And believe teachers will in the simplest, easiest terms for 1, 2, 5, 10 times, and they're always open for any more questions in the messages, or in case needed, a separate maybe call just to catch up, for example, if you were ill and maybe missed a few lessons. But even if you missed the lessons, by the way, you still will have all of the recordings of the lessons to come back in the learning management system. I think that by having this practical aspect, it's the best way to actually learn and master and grapple with the practical skills. And at the end of the day, that's what will get you the job, not the theory, but these things that you can actually do. We work with 3 projects during the course, and as Tatiana has mentioned, you can add all of those to your portfolio. The last final project is the most interesting because you choose the topic and you do everything from scratch. So I highly recommend you choosing something that you like. And it can be anything: travel app, book application, maybe something for watching K-dramas. We had one of the projects which I just adore: makeup, jewelry, like e-commerce, whatever. And that's a great place for you to start trying the things that you really enjoy, but in the field that may be your work in some day. And we have recently switched to a true certificate option. That being said, these true certificates that you will get at the end of the course are those that you cannot copy and that cannot be like fraudulent. They will be always checked and verified by any actually institution. So you will be sure that all the hard work you put in your studying will be always certificated and verified by a true diploma. Alongside with that, we have a few bonuses that we offer alongside the learning process. So in offer to learn not only UI and UX part, but you will also have a separate bonuses like a free AI module. That, of course, is a very popular topic, and I would love to discuss it with you, Yehor, when we have like a Q&A session really closely at the end. So you will learn what is artificial intelligence and how can you use it both in terms of design, yeah, in your day-to-day like work life, but also in terms how to find a job, how to maybe check your CV or write a cover letter, how to practice interview questions, all of that, which I believe is super handy. And you will also have a separate block of career consulting that will help you get all the necessary materials, all the necessary documents, to start your job search journey. And you will have personalized feedback from our career consultants and recruiters from the academy, so you will know what to improve before you actually go and look for a job. And just a couple of words about the course at hand. So the closest group is taught by Yehor. Give me just a couple of seconds to check the actual schedule that we have prepared for it. And Yehor, if you would like to correct me, please feel free. But I believe that the schedule for it will start on the 7th of May, which is pretty close. And the schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday and Wednesday, the lessons will be held at week at 7 p.m. Central European Time, so for 2 hours. And on Saturday, you will have lesson from 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's for the organizational part, but would you like to add about the structure, the topics that will cover the course, and I think from more teacher side than actually like a professional?
Yes. So as it was mentioned, we'll have around 8 hours every week. So that's pretty enough to have technical skills because we will be focusing on this mostly. As we have a reversed class, so you will be preparing theoretical materials before the lesson, and on the lesson we will be practicing. So that's a super good thing for you because I will be answering all your questions. The most confusing moment on the educational part, I would say that it's actually practicing the real skills in Figma. So because that's a special soft, it's absolutely focused on designing the interfaces and adapted for this. But also, this program has a lot of different tricky functions. For example, you maybe ever heard about auto layouts, components, and style system. So we will pay a lot of attention to this because all the recruiters and technical specialists, they are trying to find the junior specialists which super well know about auto layouts, everything. Because right now it's a kind of a golden standard if you want to be hired and you want to be hired in a good team. So you should be really familiar with these things. So we will be practicing a lot. We will start from Figma. It will be our first month of education. So Figma is our best thing which we'll ever have. But this doesn't mean that we will skip it later. So we will be using Figma like our software for any kind of tasks. So it means that it will be ongoing for, in general, 4 months. So it will be your daily base, your friend. So we'll try to use Figma for everything. Then we will discuss with you UX principles. So it will be identifying users' behavior. It will be discovering different patterns of behavior, understanding accessibility rules, how to make our website readable and catchy, and of course, how to collaborate with the client and also the users. So we need to gather everybody in the project. Actually, I like to tell that designer, it's a kind of a person who is gathering all the technical stuff from the technical team, clients, I mean like directly users, and also the stakeholders. So we are the person which are connecting all the different people which are involved in the process of development of the IT product. So without designers, it will be I have such experience when I saw the projects without a designer. It's really ugly projects. They are working, but they're really ugly. So in this case, we are the person who making not only aesthetic, but engineering the best experience in this case. Also, we will, on the next model, we'll have, it is third model, it will be focusing on UI principles. So we will understand with you how to deal with the fonts, color system, how to understand composition, how to work with responsive auto layouts, and how to create adaptive versions of your design. And of course, we'll try to understand with you grid systems, because that's a very important part of education, to understand how to create something using a special standards, which will be repeated by the developers on different cross-browser systems and different tablets. And after this, we'll have several lessons which will be focused only on building your own portfolio and understanding your own path, how you will go after. On a course, we will design with you a CV. This is a special part which is very interesting for students, because you will gather here two different parts. First of all, you will be able to gather your experience and to create your design of a CV, and we'll discuss with you how to make it in the best way and how to highlight the best skills which you have even from the previous work. Because anyway, you have your previous experience, and UX UI design, it is an only one field where, from my opinion, you can gather all your previous experience with any kind of a field if it is not even connected with the design. Because even if you were working for last 10 years, for example, like a manager in bank, so it means that you will be able to gather all your experience from banking field and to use it in UX field to create the best application for users of a banking application. So I have such experience when my students, they gathered all their previous experience and created exciting products. So because they know a lot about this field. So this is a field where you can also try to work with all this previous experience and just try to build everything in the best way. And actually we'll have our final presentation. So it will be our last model where we have only practice lessons. So you will be working on your project plan. You will create your own plan, your own deadlines, and I will be taking a part in your design process. Recommend you everything, show you how to collaborate with your clients if you have the real client, for example, or if you have a fictional client, that's also not a problem. So we will discuss with you how to create it from scratch and to the result and to the presentation. And of course, during the course, I will share with you all my experience, because I think that's the most interesting part, to have real experienced person who can share with you real cases with the clients. I'm practicing a lot right now, so I have a lot of different projects from different fields, and I can also share with you all the things which are interested in. And after the course, when you will be graduated, I'm also trying to keep in touch with my students, because I want to know when you have found your first job. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's also take a quick look at the career support system that we offer, because I think it's kind of pretty unique. So basically, starting from the last months of your study, you will unlock basically 6 months of career coaching. What that means? That you have 6 months, half a year, to use 3 one-on-one career session with a career advisor. You can schedule them as you want, either, like 3 in 1 week, or maybe 1 at a month, whatever your pace is, whatever you like. And those career Sessions are completely up to you how to schedule. That being said, you can use them however you want. You can ask to practice technical interviews. You can ask to practice soft skills. You can ask to review and improve your CV and cover letter. You can use for any tips and tricks on looking for a job, like what job words to use in your particular country, whatever. In case you feel a bit scattered, you will have some general recommendations on how to use and what can you ask for in these sessions in the learning management system in the one of the last lessons, I believe. And you can always ask for advice from the career consultant that you will work with, but you will have personalized one-on-one guidance in terms of how to secure a job in the field that you would really like, how to utilize your portfolio that you have built in the duration of the course, and how to actually prepare yourself the best way you can to go through all the interview processes and all of the job search process that sometimes can also be daunting and scary, but no worries, we'll take you back at every step of the way. So we hope that's also a very helpful tip, a very helpful addition to the course that we offer. Please, in case you need any additional advice, talk to our consultants, which is completely free, and you can ask more details on the career support and to find some reviews. But with that being said, we finally finished with all of the informational part for today, and in my opinion, we come to the most exciting part, which is Q&A session. That being said, it's time to get to answer all of the questions that you may have, and they can be both about studying part. So basically, how do you start studying? Yes, any particular tips, tricks, advice on materials, maybe for a complete beginner, whatever. And also on the more professional part, for example, how do you look for a job? Do you have any recommendations for the beginners, etc.? Anything that you would like to know on the field of UI UX design, both in terms of working and also learning to master that job. Yehor today with us is here to answer all of those questions. So I invite you to the live chat to write them down. And while I'm looking and waiting for those questions, I already titled the topic of AI, artificial intelligence in the field of UI UX design. So Yehor, what do you think? Is it really as scary, as it seems, that artificial intelligence will just take your job and design everything and you will be not needed anymore in the field? So what do you think?
It was a very interesting experience for me also to to enjoy the part with the AI, because I'm using it on a daily basis. But I would say you that probably AI will change the simplest tasks which could be done by the designers, but it will never change the real designer. The main problem right now, and actually I think in future also, that AI, it's a huge database, but that's not a creative person. That's not a person who can create new connections between different things. So from my side, I would say that AI will take a job from the designers which are not using AI, because everything becoming too fast. Using AI, it's coming like more and more information which could be operated by one designer and one specialist in any kind of a field. So in our case, I would highly recommend you to use AI, because, for example, if you'll compare 5 years ago when I just came to the Beetroot Academy and start training the students, we were trying to copy different texts to fill an interface to make it more pretty, like with a real text, not with a kind of an example of a text. But right now, I don't need even to go for any kind of website. I'm just giving a task for ChatGPT. So I have real information. I have all the analytics which I can use in my practice. I can ask ChatGPT to give me all the patterns of behavior in special fields of design. So I will have this information. I'm asking to create me different lists, task lists, to create me a deadline sessions, to create me different agendas which I need to discuss with my client today, and so on. So that's just a thing which will economize a lot of time for you, and you won't be a person which will lost in this world of design if you're using AI. So that's a thing which will be your helper. I would say you don't need to afraid this, you need to use this.
If you don't mind to a bit switch the focus of the question, how do you approach studying process with AI? Do you recommend it to your students to, like, I don't know, double check the homework, or maybe research the material to prepare for the class? How do you implement it in the learning process?
Yeah, cool question. That's the best thing which I can advise in this case, that's to use AI to gather all the information before the lesson. Because we have in our system a lot of different articles which you need to read before the lesson. But from my experience, students, they don't have enough time to read everything. So I'm offering them a kind of a trick. So you need to copy all the text from this article, just Control-C, Control-V to the ChatGPT and ask to write you all the primary key features from these articles. And basic knowledges, you'll take them, you'll know about this everything then. And of course, you will be able to ask any kind of questions which you can't understand from the articles or from this agenda from ChatGPT according to the articles on the lesson. So mostly we are discussing the questions which we have not catched before the lesson to dive deep in this theme. So that's the best option how you can use it. But of course, with ChatGPT or any kind of other AI tools, that's not a problem. Of course, we will be generating some kind of images for our content for a website. We will be trying to collect the best experience in this field. Probably you would be interested how to build UX persona, because we have different sections like story about the user persona, who is our client, what is the motivation of this client. So you don't need to think about this. You can just put it in ChatGPT and just use it. So that thing will help you to economize a lot of time and to be more fast in studying.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the tip. We have a question which deals more with the operating the educational process. So Yeva asks, do you have nighttime groups for this course? I live in Canada, and morning Central European time classes like Saturday aren't suitable for me because of the time zone. Is it okay to watch Saturday classes in recording instead of actually visiting them?
Yes, thank you for this question. Very good question. And in the previous group, I've got a student from Canada. So the problem was the same. She joined half of the lesson. And she was also pregnant. So she is superwoman, I think, in this case. And she, in those cases when she got not enough strains to see everything, she was just taking a look on the videos, and then she were asking me questions after the lesson. So for me, it is okay, because I will be answering even not on the lessons. So we'll be in touch. It could be messages, like just typing something to each other, or probably I will send you voice messages. And in cases when you need to have a detailed feedback on your work, I will be sending you a video messages with all the detailed comments for your work, and you'll have a feedback what to change, for example.
Yeah, thank you so much, because I think that's a very peculiar question when we talk about like international groups, like Tanya has mentioned, from all the different countries people are gathered, and it's really it can be hard to operate in such a group, but I'm glad that we have a separate decision for that. The next question, thank you so much. How do you approach students who has no experience in the design field? What is recommended for them when studying UI UX?
Actually, I would say that we have all students without any background. So mostly we have students without a background. From my practice, I would say maybe I had 5 or 10% maximum people which got some background, but not in web design, mostly in graphic design. And graphic design is absolutely different field. Of course, there are some common rules, for example, like how to combine colors, but graphic design, it's more focusing on print part, but not on interfaces and gadgets. It's a different specialization in this case. So our course is a kind of a thing which we will be getting acquainted from scratch. So I would say probably it's the best option where you don't have any experience in this field, because it wouldn't be necessary for you to have a kind of a thing which will be a comparison between two different fields. Because I also got this experience when designers of interior, they were switching to UX UI design, and for them it was much more complicated to understand Figma than for the people which didn't know anything about the design field. So in my case, if you want to start from scratch, I would recommend you to read something about this field, starting from UX analytics. There are a lot of different websites, for example, like Adobe XD. This is kind of a website where it is gathered a lot of information about research of the users, different patterns of behavior. And of course, as I advised before, that's material design. That's one of the best design systems which exist right now from Google. So they have combined like all the stuff from their experience, and they have super rich experience because they're tracking all the devices which are using Google and Chrome and also Android. So they know a lot about this. So if you want to get acquainted from scratch by your own, so probably I would start from some videos on YouTube. Then I would take material design to understand like more deep about these rules and try to get acquainted with Figma, because Figma, that's your professional instrument. Of course, you can work without Figma. It could be UX research and you can use different online instruments, but I wouldn't say that they are so efficient as Figma. And also you can build different hypotheses and use just like kind of a notes, but that's not so interesting like to use professional instruments. And of course, if you want to have more projects and more clients, I mean, like if you want to freelance like this, so you need to show something aesthetic for your potential clients to take them and to hold them, of course. So anyway, you need to use professional software, but that's not an only thing which you need to get acquainted with. So start from a base. That's different videos about UX UI, and of course the base, that's material design, or could be a human interface also from iOS. They're doing the same thing, but it is not so popular like material design right now.
Yeah, but again, a huge caveat that you don't need to do this to start our course, for example, because we start completely fresh from scratch, no understanding of the field, and you will build this understanding as you go. But in case you would like to maybe dive deeper or just, again, test it out, test the waters before you actually commit to the course, those are great recommendations. So let me know if we have answered the question. And in case anything comes up, I have a second question to you, Yehor. I have heard a lot that the design field is like overwhelmed by the specialists. You know, everyone is a designer today, and there are so many designers, I will never find a job ever in my life. What's your experience with like actual UI UX design field? Because again, you worked with Ukraine, Poland, like all the markets. Is it true that for a junior who has just finished the course, it's so hard to find a job? Is it really so many specialists that it's not even worth it?
To tell the truth, yes, it's super competitive market right now, but the messages from my students, they are proving that it is possible to do, and actually that's not a super complicated thing to do this. You can try even to monitor right now how many offers there are for junior designers. For sure, it will be a competitive market for you, but as we are focusing on our course on the technical skills, that will be a good point for you, because in this case, you will be able to show that you don't have a kind of a necessity to be educated once more with a Figma, for example, because it's an accent in our program, Figma. And everybody wants to have a specialist which is familiar with the technical software, because you will have a team lead. The task of a team lead on your first work, not even a first work, anyway, will be to correct you and to lead you. So you will be pushed to the result, but nobody wants to waste their time to educate you once more. So that's the way how you can be competitive in this field. The next part here, that's probably, I would say that that's not the only way to get your first job to find a junior position. You can also find different internships like my students do. So it's a kind of a special kind of a collaboration with different IT teams where you are working for free or for the minimum salary, for example, maybe for a month, 2, 3, how much you can do this. And after this, they will give you an offer to continue working with them like a junior specialist. And then you will be able to collaborate to have your first salary in UX UI design and to choose later another team, for example. Mostly that's a super fast start. From the other side, I can also say you that from my experience with the students with which I'm keeping in touch, they are saying me something like after course, it takes from 2 up to 4 months for them to find their first job. But it doesn't mean that they are searching only for a job all this time. They are working on their portfolio, trying different CV options, how to do this in the best way, having interviews, passing interviews or failing interviews. So that's a kind of a process, of course, and I think that you need to know about this. But in general, this market is really huge and it is growing. It is still growing. So I would say that we would have in the future, maybe 10 years, more job, but you need to be more skilled to get this job.
Yeah, I also remember one of the questions that I always like to talk with the teachers. Do you recommend your students to start looking for a job in the middle of the course? So not wait till the diploma, till the end, but actually start going for the interviews at least while you're still studying, because I know that is a practice among some of the teachers.
Yes, I had these cases. One of my students, she found a job on the second month of education.
Wow.
So yeah, she got an offer. Another student, she was studying on the course because she already got a job offer from a team, and her husband was working like a developer in this team, and they were trying to build more like bigger team with the designers and so on. So right now she's working in Monaco. So that's, I think, a good decision from her side, and she's really talented. And one of my students also, she have found the job on the last months of education, and she spent maybe 2 years in different companies, and after 2 years after the course, she is right now working like a team lead. So 2 years and team lead, that's huge decision actually, because mostly team lead is something from 5 years experience. So I would highly recommend you to build your networking before you even done with the course, and try to offer your skills for any kind of a companies, even for free, to use your final project, maybe like your real project, and to present your skills for any type of a clients to have any kind of an options to collaborate them after the course.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for your time and answers. I don't see any questions coming up from the chat, so I believe we have covered everything. So guys, thank you so much for watching. For all of us who stayed till the end, separate thank you, huge thank you for your time. I hope that this event was helpful and interesting to you. I believe that if at this point you can understand more clearly if the UI UX design field is a good choice for you, I think that we have done a great job, whatever the answer is. In case you're interested in the program that we offer, please wait for the emails with the further details. You can always go for a free educational consultation that we offer. You can always walk through the intro course that is completely free and just try it out to see if it really suits you. And I actually hope to see you as our future students. Tatiana, Yehor, thank you so much for your separate time and for like coming here and sharing the experiences. I believe it was super valuable for all of the participants. So I wish you all good evening, and yeah, hope to see you soon, either as students or as participants of another webinar. Have a great day or night, and see you.
Thanks a lot. See you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.